with Cinema. Welcome back to War with Cinema. I'm your host, Greg, your local metalhead. And with me is
Par the Collector, aka the Parminator.
Parminator.
I don't know. I was trying to think of Terminator. It didn't work out very well. It sounds like Parmesan.
It does. That's what I thought of. Like, why
Parm the shit out of your spaghetti.
Why are you talking about Parmesan?
I love Parmesan cheese, bro.
Oh, it's fucking amazing.
Goes great on everything. Well,
It does.
Pasta related.
One of my favorite things on the internet I've ever seen is like, it says one of the shortest stories ever. The waiter says, "Stop when you've had enough cheese." The restaurant fills up with cheese and everyone dies. It's so dumb.
It's so true though, man. Because like the motherfuckers will catch carpal tunnel out there with me.
Oh yeah.
Tell me when to stop. Nah, bro. No. I understand, sir. I have to go get another fucking thing because I've grated all the cheese out of this one.
We'll just bring all the cheese out and then we'll go from there.
One time at Olive Garden, the motherfucker just sat it on the table and was like, "Go for it."
And that happened to me too.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, they're like halfway and they're like, "Oh fuck it, you do it,
bro. Like I got shit to do. I have other tables.
Right.
So give you fucking cheese.
I hate it when people are like, Olive Garden's not real Italian. It's like, I know, but I love Olive Garden because...
If you don't like Olive Garden, then fuck you.
Right?
For real.
It's like, I don't go to Taco Bell for authentic Mexican.
You mean to tell me that shit is not real, authentic Mexican food?
It's fucking delicious.
Fucking go eat a chalupa right now. I'm so hungry,
I was
bro.
just thinking about it too. I was like, yeah, I could go for a chalupa.
We could definitely go get a fucking chalupa. Like
quesarito.
I'll bust my plans wide open. We will go get a fucking chalupa after this. So what movie are we doing today, Greg?
The Paper.
The Paper. Great fucking movie, dude.
Director Ron Howard, stars Michael Keaton and a lot of other people. You probably can remember them more than me.
You know what's crazy is a lot of people don't know this about me, but I do like to read. And I don't read the newspaper anymore. But when we used to get it at my house as a kid, I would read it.
Did you really?
Not just the comics either. Like certain things, like the sports section, obviously. And then like local news. I was big into local. Because I like to know what's going on around me. I
Yeah.
didn't give a shit about the world in general. But I like, what was going on in my neighborhoods and stuff.
Right.
And I mean, we lived in Arbondale at the time. So obviously it was mostly just dumb shit. But
Which is mostly meth.
What?
Meth.
Oh yeah, pretty much, yeah. Fucking dog pageants and shit like that. So, but this movie,
Arbordale.
Arbordale,
Meth and dog pageants.
and Little League football, man. That's all they got.
Yep.
That's all they got over there.
Mhm.
I had a great childhood though, man. I don't think Arbondale was quite methed out at that point.
You don't think?
Nah, because like I don't remember that like being a problem. Like, well, we couldn't go to parks because all the meth heads laying around.
True.
Like, so
That's definitely a problem now.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not saying it wasn't a problem then. I wasn't in the know when I was a kid, but like, it could have been more hidden. That's what I like to say.
You were a kid, you didn't recognize, man, that guy's weird. You didn't realize it was a fucking meth problem.
I'm just saying, man, you like crackheads and shit like that. Like you spot with somebody on drugs, like, or that's
I actually spotted a
strung out.
guy the other day on drugs, but I didn't realize what it was until a guy at work told me it's Waka.
Or
Flocka?
Flocka.
Waka Flocka Flame.
Yeah, dude. Flocka is
Dude, it was
killing people.
It's the scariest thing I've ever seen. So I was on my way home from work and I was at a stop sign and this dude walks up like he was about to cross the street and you kind of like prepare yourself, like see what he's gonna do. So you know what to do. Well, he stops and then he just leans over to his side and just starts like wobbling around. And he does this for a solid 5 minutes. And I'm like, what? I can't tell if he's dancing, fucking around, but then he stands straight up, turns around, and then walks away. I was like, that is the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So I talked to a guy at work, told him about it. He's like, oh, yeah, that's Flocka.
Yeah.
I was like, what? He's like, yeah, look up Flocka dance videos on YouTube and you'll understand. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
I
that
get
shit's
it.
terrible. Yeah.
Scary, the things people get into.
They got all kinds of shit, dude. It's just like people like bath salts and all this shit. Like, how do people do that shit? But,
Yeah. And like, I feel bad that so many, like, you see it a lot in rappers now dying young because they're just into these heavy ass drugs.
yeah.
Like, what's his name died recently.
Oh, Juice WRLD, yeah.
Yeah.
Juice WRLD.
It's just sad watching these
That's
people die so
Percocet.
young.
Yeah. My whole thing with that is they're trying to say, like, he ate all those pills because the cops were searching his plane. He had 70 pounds of pot. Do you really think those pills were gonna make that big of a fucking difference?
Is that what they're saying? I don't know a whole lot about it.
Oh, I've been reading up on it, and that's what they're saying, that like he had the seizure from a overdose, but people that he was friends with say he already had a prescription drug problem. So the amount that he took in that short window, his body gave out on him.
See, I don't want to be that person because I'm not really into that world, the rap world or whatever, but I know like drugs are a big thing in the rap world.
And fucking all music.
And when I heard
Well,
he
not all
died,
music, but a lot of bigger music.
right, but when I heard he died, I was like, he got an overdose on something, and I hate to like put that stereotype out there, but then the news comes out, that's exactly what happened, and it's like, you got to take care of yourself. Like, drugs
Yeah.
are like, you think they're cool and all, but they'll kill you if you're not careful.
Yeah, kids, don't do drugs, man.
Yeah,
Wait till you're an adult and you can be responsible if you want to do it. For real, though.
yeah.
Honestly, I hate, my biggest thing is when people say gateway drug.
Oh, gateway drug is the worst.
That makes no fucking sense. If somebody's gonna do something, they're gonna fucking do it. It's
yeah,
not,
right.
I did this, so now I'm gonna automatically do this. Like,
Yeah.
it's not.
When I drink a
that's-
glass of whiskey, I don't want to go do a shot of heroin.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have to get strung out on meth to know that. I don't think I want to do meth. Like, because
But it
part
is
of the world we live in, bro, we've seen people on. Some of us family that have seen people destroy their lives on that shit.
But at the same time, it's kind of like a necessary evil because you wouldn't do meth because you saw what it did to other people.
Right.
Think about the first meth heads. They didn't know what was going to happen to them. So,
Yeah, I get it, but I don't know, man. I feel like willpower, you got to have that before anything. Like,
just take care of yourself.
exactly, anything can ruin your life if
Right.
you let it. You know what I mean? Too much of a good thing is a real thing.
Yeah.
But moderation and everything is good.
Anyway, so you read the paper.
The paper, yeah, I used to read the paper when I was a kid and stuff, but
So did that translate into this movie as why you were interested in it?
no, honestly, man, like I said, I was a teenager. We were at the house eating food or something, and me and my dad, we would always watch TV while we ate. It was just the thing we did. Like, it was easier than talking to each other type thing. And he put this movie on, and I said, what is this movie? I've never seen it before, because I like Michael Keaton. That's fucking Batman,
Yeah.
And I saw Glenn Close, and I was like, fuck, that's Randy Quaid. And it's just like all these people. And he's like, oh, this is The Paper. You never heard of this? I was like, yeah. He's like, it's a movie about a paper. These two kids get framed for a murder, and Michael Keaton's trying to get the scoop on the story so they can put their paper out before everybody else. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And we watched it, and I really enjoyed it. And when I saw it on DVD, because it's one of those movies that, like, when it came out, it was VHS time. You know what I mean? And some of those movies are harder to find on DVD. So when I saw it, I bought it.
Okay. So,
What did you think of it? Is why we're here. Grigori.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it, dude?
No, I didn't like it.
Wow, man.
And
So many stories, lines, and characters. Good characters in that movie.
And that's the problem with the movie is there's too much going on. There's Ron Howard directed it, but whoever wrote this movie needed to flesh it out a little better. So, like you said, the movie's about these two black guys that witness a hate crime against two white men. They were they're high up like bankers or something like that. And it's spray painted like Whitey on the side of their car, and they witness it and they know that they would get
right.
charged for this.
Mm.
So they don't report it because they're number one suspect. And but that's the thing is, have you seen Spotlight?
Yeah.
I
haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. The one with Mark Ruffalo.
Right. So
About the-
Spotlight is about the Catholic Church
And the molestation. And stuff.
molestations.
Yeah.
But the reason Spotlight is so good is because it really focused on the story at hand, about breaking that story.
Well, this isn't about the story of what's happening. This is about the paper.
Exactly. It's about the characters.
The reporters.
Yeah, it's more so about the reporters, and the paper is more like a baseline
Mm.
to base the characters off of. And that's where I didn't like it, is I wish the story that they were trying to break tied in more with the characters, or tied in a little better. It just felt like there was a bunch
They
of
saved
ideas.
those kids' lives at the end of it. by getting the story, you know.
I understand that, but the whole middle of the half doesn't even talk about the paper. It's just talking about the characters.
Yeah.
So the story, the movie opens with this thing happening,
Mm.
and then you're introduced to the characters, and then you have an hour or so
This is a movie about 2 hours.
about
It's about 2 hours, I think.
yeah,
Give or take.
and that middle part is all about character building about all these characters, but it doesn't tie into what happened at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
And then by the end of the movie, it doesn't really tie in. It just like, oh, we saw that this thing was wrong, and we want to run the true story.
So you just don't like how it flowed? Like you didn't.
It
Like
didn't
the
have flow.
You didn't feel like it was fluid.
And it had a huge lull in the middle where I like got bored as fuck.
I liked it, the little things into these characters' lives and stuff. I like that part of it though, because it is characters or it's actors I enjoyed. Like Randy Quaid was gold back then.
Mhm.
Like,
One thing I didn't like is I feel like the
Glenn Close did a good job in this one. I felt.
I'm not
like.
saying the actors didn't do a good job. It's mostly the story that I'm focused on.
Right.
Everyone pulled their weight when it came to acting. They all gave their best and they did a good job. But the story just wasn't flushed out enough for me.
Right.
Like we just talked about The Gift and how we talked about there was a lot of setup. Like the first half of the movie
All
is setting up
foreshadow.
foreshadowing throughout the whole movie, and then the second half of the movie was all those foreshadows paying off.
Right.
This movie doesn't do that. It sets a bunch of things up and then doesn't do anything with them, and that stuff kind of bothers me. One that stuck out for me was one of the people at the paper. He keeps complaining about this chair.
Mhm.
He's like, that's my chair. I don't give a fuck about the desk. I just want my chair. And later in the movie, you see him like taking a bag off of a chair and looking at it like that's his chair. He even puts a little sticker on it that says, don't touch. And then like a couple of scenes later, someone switched his chair out and Michael Keaton sits in the guy that took it. He's like, man, that's a nice chair. And then it like pans over to the other guy and there's like a bench. Or not a bench, but a stool that says "Don't touch." And he's like, "Come on, guys!" But it doesn't have anything to do with the story, and that's kind of like,
Let's wrap it up that character's arc though. That's why I said when you said it is a title, like it does for the most part, like all the shit that matters. You know what I mean? Like the little shit about like, the air conditioner being broke, shit like that. Like the whole movie. There's just a construction crew in and out of the roof, like trying to fix the shit while they're doing it. Like all the little stuff, guy.
and
I mean, I don't know. It just like it gives the movie some realism to me. You know what I mean? Like these are actual people. It's
this
not
is
just.
this is a fictional story. Oh,
I get that.
let me say, like there are certain movies that I don't care about, like certain like topics. War, I don't care about war, so war movies usually bore me.
Mm.
And press.
Oh, okay.
Anything about like newspapers and stuff like that just bore me to death.
That's why newspapers are dying.
Yeah.
'Cause
But
of that right
the reason
there.
I like Spotlight is because it was based on a true story.
Right.
This isn't based on a true story. It's all fiction, so it just bored me.
Because
Even
two black
further.
guys have never been framed for a crime ever. No, I get what you're saying though. So
So there's a
yeah, go on into it. Like, give them a little bit of the story.
well, I want to touch on this real quick. There's a story trope about, well, not a trope, but a saying. In a story, if you talk about a gun being on the wall, by the end of the movie, you need to see that gun being fired. Which means if you're going to put something in a story, it needs to affect the story by the end of it. Everything needs to be tied together, and that's why I love Christopher Nolan so much, because The Dark Knight is one of the best storytelling movies, because everything that happens in that movie ties in to the movie, to the story.
Right.
And that's why I love it so much. Like, there's a reason for everything. But this movie is kind of like, there's a bunch of stuff going on that doesn't tie into the story. It just kind of is there. But okay, so these two black guys witness a murder a hate crime that happened. They don't say anything because they know they'll get blamed for it. And then we switch over to Michael Keaton's character, where his wife works for the paper, but she's pregnant, so she's out on leave.
Mm. He's the editor.
Yeah, he's the editor. He's the head chief editor. So everyone's like reporting to him.
Mm.
And God, there's so much going on. And he reports to the head of the newspaper, and he has something going on with his prostate. He's in bad health and stuff like that. But also his co-worker.
It's like the person in between him and him is Glenn Close.
Yeah.
I forget what she is, but she's like a big deal. Because
Yeah,
of
she's
her
above
money.
him but under the head guy. So him and her are always butting heads throughout the whole movie
Mhm.
because he wants to do things a certain way
Right.
and she wants to do things a certain way.
Right.
Okay, so he finds out a lot of things happen in between. They're trying to figure out this story, like what actually happened. And
Well, he's got an interview at a competing newspaper. It's like a better newspaper.
Right.
And then there's broke or whatever. And then I'm trying to think of what else is going on.
he when he goes for the interview, because his wife really wants him to get this job because it'll help them out.
And they're about to have the baby and whatnot.
Right,
Yeah.
it'll be better for their home life and it's
Mhm.
better pay. But he notices that there's a piece of evidence or a story based on the story that they're covering.
In the guy's office that's interviewing him.
Right.
This is a rival paper.
So he steals it so it can be a leg up for their paper company.
That's what it is, because the paper he works for is not doing well. Like, it's
Yeah.
not selling copies. It's about to go under.
Because they care more about
The story.
they care
and
about
not-
real stories and not just fluff.
Right. That's what it is. Yeah, that's like the overlying theme in this one.
Mhm.
Or is the truth more important than the caption, than the headline, pretty much.
Exactly.
Because that's what Glenn Close's whole thing is the headline has to be right. You know, we guessed wrong, we made no money.
Mhm.
We guessed right, we make all the money.
Well, that's what one of the guys says near the end of the movie. He's like, this paper in 14 years has never got a story wrong until today. That's because she wants to push a headline. She doesn't want to push the story.
That's right. That's right.
So that's like the baseline of the whole movie is doing the right thing. And
that's what the whole thing is about. He's trying to get, because he finds out that it's the truth, that these kids didn't do it, and that it's an underlying conspiracy, because that's what it is. It's got something to do with bank fraud or the mob or some shit like that. Like somebody's, it's a bigger thing than what that's meant to cover up the other shit.
yeah, these bankers did a bad bet with the mob.
Right.
And the mob took them out, but they're trying to pin it on these black guys and try and sweep
That's
it under
right.
the rug.
Right.
So
And like I said, there's other powerful people involved, so they're all trying to like stop it and like keep them from getting the story out. And that's what the whole movie's about, is them trying to clear these two guys' names
but
and save their
like-
paper in the process.
right, but there's so much that this story is trying to say that it gets a little convoluted. So it's about family. Family is more important than anything.
Mhm.
It's also about your choices in life will affect more people than you realize. And it's also about having a good moral compass. And it's like all these things it's trying to smush into this one movie, because the head chief of the paper, he doesn't have a good relationship with his daughter, but he's trying to establish a good relationship with her. But that's another thing. It doesn't tie into the story. It doesn't have anything to do with this story that they're trying to run. It doesn't have
Oh,
anything.
it's fucking Robert Duvall. I just thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
This movie can't be bad. Robert Duvall's in it.
He does it, like I said, the actors do a good job. It's just this story is so like trying to smush too much into one little story. And then you have the underlying story, the headline that they're covering, but it doesn't tie into any of the characters.
It also, I thought also it brought us certain elements of like social interaction, like when a crime of color happens. You know, you always have people that say, "Oh, they did it." You know, it doesn't matter what happened; they don't want to hear any details. It's just like they're black, they did it.
Yeah.
You know, and like social climate at the time, because that also deals with that in the movie. Like the people from the newspaper are arguing back and forth, like these guys definitely did it. Look where they're at. Look at the neighborhood. Like, of course they did it. And then
Right.
the other people, and then you hear the cop saying shit. He's like, "Well, I talked to my guy down at the precinct. He told me this." And I don't know. I dug I like the idea of the movie just because of I had never seen anything like that before.
Hmm.
As far as like, you know, everybody reads a newspaper, but nobody knows about the work that goes in to do it.
That
Like,
makes sense. That's kind of why I liked Hardball
mm,
or Moneyball with Brad Pitt,
yeah.
because you know about baseball, but you don't know about like the inner workings of like
I was gonna
buying
say,
players and selling players. Like I loved that movie.
I was gonna say, bro, we could live hardball. We could go teach some inner city kids right now how to play baseball. Like, we're not Keanu Reeves, but we could still do that. Like,
All right, some other
that
things.
is a good movie, though.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Other things I didn't like is this came out in the 90s, and the studio had you can tell they had so much pull in this movie because there's
Product placement everywhere.
well, not well, we'll get to Coke cuz fuck me.
He loves it.
There's so much like 90s tropes in this. Like if you got a list and you're write down like in 90s movies like what was popular at the time, this checks most of those boxes.
Yeah.
Just like the comedic, because my wife even said, she's like, this is labeled as a comedy, but I don't find it funny. I'm like, it's 90s funny. Like just a bunch of tropes from the 90s that are smushed into this movie, and I kind of wish it wasn't.
Am I hearing this right? You told your wife my movie was 90s funny?
Yeah.
You told your wife that?
Yeah.
We're friends, man. Like, there's no need for that. 90s funny. This is Michael Keaton. Bro.
Was it an insult?
Yeah, bro. Don't diss Michael Keaton. Anything he's in.
I like Birdman.
Yeah, of course you like that dumb shit, but you don't like Paper. Like, what the fuck? Can't believe I'm hearing this shit right now.
And yeah, let's talk about the fucking Coke paid for half of this movie because, oh my God.
Coca-Cola is delicious, man.
He wakes up and in the beginning of the movie, first thing he does is go to the refrigerator and get a Coke. Even his wife says, your blood is going to turn to battery acid.
Because he drinks all the Coke.
And then he goes into the office and somebody storms into his office to tell him a bunch of stuff. And he's like, what have I told you before? Do not talk to me before I've had at least 3 Cokes in my system. I'm like, what the fuck? And so many shots have Coke, like that vending machine that's in the office, lit up so bright, and it's in center frame. Like all the people are off to the side, and you just see this big Coke machine. And I'm like, holy fuck, that is product placement.
Yeah. I think Dunkin' Donuts has a couple shots too.
I didn't.
Because like he's constantly trying to get a donut. There's no fucking donuts. And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
just, like, grabbing like crumbs out of the box.
Yeah.
It may not have been Dunkin' Donuts. It might have just been anybody.
I think it was just a donut place,
a
but
random donut place. Yeah.
Coke, like anytime Michael Keaton is in frame, he is drinking a Coke, and I understand that.
Did this movie convert you to a Pepsi drinker? Like that bothered you that they were pushing the Coke hard? In this?
You got to rewatch it because like Coke is pushed hard in this movie.
That might be why I drink Coca-Cola to this day.
Probably. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Coke, but like
The polar bear commercials, man. Like Coke is way better than Pepsi.
I mean, yeah, I agree. with
Pepsi
you.
tastes like flat to me.
Pepsi's
you open
just-
a Pepsi, it's like, how did it get flat this fast?
Right.
To me, personally.
No, I completely agree. Like, I'd rather drink a Diet Pepsi than a regular Pepsi.
I'll drink Mountain Dew. Like, if I go to a restaurant, I'm like, yo, can I get a Coke? And
Mountain
they're
Dew
like,
is the only reason Pepsi is still in business.
for real, though, right? Like, and yeah, definitely. Because Sierra Mist sucks, too.
Yeah.
Like, I'd much rather have a Sprite than a Sierra Mist. Like, we're going to get sued by Pepsi. What the fuck you shitting on our product for?
Hey, Mountain Dew.
We gave you a shout out to Mountain Dew, and I mean, I fuck with Code Red. I don't like the Baja Blast shit, though.
Some people do,
People
though.
love Baja Blast. Like, they go crazy for
Yeah,
that
nobody
shit.
likes Baja Blast. They love
They either
Baja
love
Blast.
it, or it's like, nah, it's not for me.
Yeah.
But I've never enjoyed it.
But Code Red was my go-to. Like, remember in Zombieland, he's like, I was playing World of Warcraft, eating some pizza, drinking some Code Red. I'm like, is he talking about me? Because that was me.
Code Red fucked my stomach up from drinking it so much.
Me
though.
too.
Like, the grenadine
It's
in that
just
shit is
so good.
unreal. Oh, yeah. It's good shit. But bad shit, too. Mountain Dew. Yeah. I like Mountain Dew, though. Not Baja, though.
I can't drink Mountain Dew because it fucks my stomach. Or it just hurts my stomach.
Yeah. You have to build up a tolerance to it.
But I quit drinking soda altogether.
I know, man. I'm really proud of you for it. You work out. You don't smoke cigarettes. You're fucking eating good. Like, just fuck me. Man. You're just trying to get skinny, bro.
Eating good. That's a loose term. Like, I still go out every once in a while and have a burger.
Yeah, but it's okay to do that every once in a while,
Yeah.
man. As long as you're not doing it daily like I am.
True.
Like, I don't know if I'm gonna go to Popeyes or what after this. Like,
You're really like
I'm
debating
so hungry, bro.
Taco Bell, Popeyes, KFC.
They were talking about Mountain Dew and Coca-Cola to wash it all down with.
Yep.
You should come. It's gonna be glorious.
We can go out and grab a bite to eat if you want.
There you go, man. You can just go fat boy with me for a day.
That's good.
You already went to the gym. You're good.
Yep.
Anyways, so you weren't feeling the paper as much.
By the end of it, whenever it started to like wrap up, it started to pay off a little. I seen where it was going. Whenever they were in the bar scene and the what is it? The parking commissioner
Yeah,
goes after that guy because he's been complaining the whole time. He's like,
yeah,
"Why do you have a gun?" He's like, "Parking commissioner's after me. I told you this."
yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
parking commissioner actually goes after him. I thought it was pretty funny. But the parking commissioner, like, because he wrote the story on them, it ruined his life. And now the parking commissioner wants to pay back the favor, but he only wants to scare him, so he takes his gun, but then he shoots it beside him, but in turn shoots the lady in the leg, which ruins her life, which tells me is like the decisions you make in life affect other people.
Oh yeah.
So I get that. I get that message, and it ties into like the gift, like I was saying. But it also has the whole family thing where Michael Keaton's character cares more about his job than he does taking care of his pregnant wife.
Mm.
But in turn, like at the end of the movie, his the story that he's been trying so hard to get published gets published, but he throws it to the side because his
Can I-
wife's doing okay because she had a scare.
Can I just say that I loved old girl in this one? I don't know why I can't think of her name. Tawny Katane. I love her, bro. The Academy Award winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's great in My Cousin Vinny, but she's good in this one too. And I love that she was super supportive because when old boy when fucking Randy shoots the fucking gun off in the office,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like he needs to talk to his husband.
Yeah.
She needs to talk to her husband.
Right.
She's just like, God, I miss this place. Like all the arguing and stuff. Like I don't know. I thought she was a good part of the movie too.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about it. So there's a thing that bothers me when people do that. He shot the gun in the office.
Mm.
It had a live round. He's not shooting blanks. Where did he shoot that?
He shot it
shoot
into the
it up.
newspapers.
Shot it down.
He shot it into the newspapers.
What newspapers?
The stacks of newspapers he puts up. That's what he does right before he shoots into it.
So he
takes
stacks
like-
up newspapers.
Takes like 3 stacks of the newspapers and puts them up, and then shoots it down into it.
Well, the shot happens off screen, so I guess I missed that part.
Yeah, he does that though.
Okay, I was like, he didn't shoot out the
And
window.
It's a 38, like it's a small caliber, like it's not going through. It's not like a hollow point going through the floor and hitting other people.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm like,
Nah,
if he
nah,
shoots
nah.
it, he's gonna hit somebody possibly.
No, that would have been terrible. But that's why they show you him stacking them up.
Okay, I must have like looked away at that point, but I didn't see that. Okay, so anyway.
Yeah, it's like a little pea shooter, man.
But a lot of movies do that. Like somebody shoots a gun in like
In
a
the
crowded
air,
area,
yeah.
and I'm like, somebody's getting shot. Like you can't just do that.
Who cares about public safety, Greg? We're trying to enjoy a movie here. Yeah. But yeah, that's
no,
one of my favorite parts.
She did do a good job. Like I said, I have no
Tony
problem with any of the actors. Everyone.
That's not Tawny Katane. Tawny Katane's the chick from the fucking car, or Whitesnake. What the fuck is her name right now?
I don't know.
It's bothering me. She has an Academy Award. I feel like I should know this.
You should, but me, I
cousin
forget
Minnie.
names pretty easily. So
She's in Spider-Man, the new ones. She
Is she?
plays Aunt May.
oh right,
Fuck.
I don't think I've ever known her name.
It starts with a T. I'm almost positive it starts with a T.
Hanukkah Tane.
It's not Tawny Katane. Tawny Katane is the chick from Whitesnake on the hood of the car. My cousin Vinny.
My cousin.
As soon as I look it up, it's gonna piss me off.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot when I can't remember people's name. And then I see it, and I'm like, "You knew that? Why can't you remember
I
that?"
just don't understand it. It was picking up everything I said. Bob, real quick.
This
I
is-
want to watch the movie. Give me
this
the
is-
fucking cast. Marissa Tomei. Marissa Tomei. Now I feel better. Marissa Tomei did a fucking good job in that
She
movie.
did.
And now that I know her name. Anyways.
But she was pregnant throughout this whole movie, which is funny because we watched The Gift too, and she was pregnant throughout that whole movie.
Yeah, we Matt synced up in that shit. We didn't even know it.
Yep.
Your movie, like I said, dude, I didn't enjoy it as much. Like I said, the first 45, like that's what I thought would make you like this movie was all the different characters and the setup and all that shit. That's why I thought you would have liked this one. Because I feel like it's one of those good movies. It's like it's not a mystery. It's not, you know what I mean. It's not action. It's not a comedy. It's just one of those movies where like they're just getting shit done.
No.
It's entertaining to me.
I see what you're saying. Like there's a lot of character building, and I like character building movies.
Yeah.
But they didn't do anything with the character building.
Yeah, this is one of those movies that you would have swore there was a sequel to this or something. Like I thought, like the way they built it, like I would have assumed that they were gonna make like another one,
About what though?
like a different story.
Yeah, but
now
what would
now Michael Keaton's taking over for Robert Duvall.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Glenn Close are always arguing still because of it, and that she's had the baby.
I hope you don't work in Hollywood because you'd put a sequel to everything. Like there's a lot of movies that like
They're
man,
doing it already, bro. At least my sequels will be good. Like everybody does a fucking sequel or a reboot.
They do. I'm so sick of reboots. What are they rebooting that I'm just fucking like, really?
Anything and everything, bro.
There was one that
There's just like 4 or 5 they can't ever touch. As long as they don't do that, I'll be okay.
which ones?
You can't ever, ever, ever remake Back to the Future.
Fair.
You can't ever, ever, ever remake Goodfellas. You can't ever, ever, ever remake The Godfather. And you can't ever remake...
I'll tell you one that I kind of do want to remake with, and I'll probably get like castrized for this, but The Neverending Story.
Yeah, see, like some people like that's their shit, that's their childhood. Like me, I came in and like Neverending Story Part 2.
Oh,
3,
I see.
So it doesn't hold as much value for me, but that is a movie that with some real CGI would be a hit nowadays.
Exactly. Like I understand the nostalgia people have to that movie, but
Scarface,
it didn't.
that's what I was thinking of. Scarface.
You know what's funny? As I was thinking that, I'm like, he's gonna say Scarface, but
Yeah, but they're remaking Scarface.
are they?
Yeah, it's pissing me off. Fuck y'all.
But yeah, The Neverending Story. Like people have that nostalgia attachment to it, but you have to admit it's dated. The CGI wasn't the greatest.
No, it's like puppets and shit, ain't it?
Yeah, for the most part,
Yeah.
there is some like
Like
CGI moments
animatronic
to
or
it,
whatever it is.
but I think the story is loose enough where you could remake it. And now that we have the better technology,
Mm.
it would be so good. It
Oh,
would
yeah.
be a really, really good.
There's
movie.
a lot of movies that I think of like that, like live action versions of cartoons or
Mhm.
vice versa. Like I think they'd be great movies. Or if they would have had the technology. Like think about The Page Master. Like that was a movie that was half real movie, half animated,
Right.
and animation was, what it, they were still doing things, but I just think about that movie now. Like if you did that as a live action movie now, that would be ridiculous.
That would be an
Or
insane movie.
it's just the world, the fantasy world, the horror world, adventure, whatever.
Yeah.
See real pirate ships, like a Pirates of the Caribbean type shit, just shooting. Like that would be crazy to see in real life.
That would be cool.
There are certain, I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to reboot a movie. Especially like, what I would like to see more of is shit movies they reboot into good ones. Like Waterworld. I like Waterworld. You may like Waterworld.
I fucking love
A lot
Waterworld.
of people hate fucking Waterworld. But I have to feel like if you change a couple things about that movie,
Yeah, you make the story actually make sense.
exactly, it could be a lot better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Kroll. I even said, bro, there are elements to Kroll that if they took and did that, like it would be a badass fucking movie. Like,
Yeah, you're right.
you know what I mean? Like some of
Because
the
that's
other
that's what I was telling you about Kroll. Like I love the story so much that I can overlook the shortcomings that it has.
right.
But yeah, if they redid it again and had the technology and the money,
and like actually tried to make a villain like not just a fucking puppet. You know what I mean? Like they actually like, made a villain with some story, some substance, and just cut out some of the like pick one or the other. Are we a fucking space movie or are we like a medieval times movie? Because I think it would have done a lot better like that. Like if it was more like a, you know what I mean,
Well, that's what I
Dungeons and
find.
Dragons type shit.
Well, that's what I find interesting because have you ever seen the show Firefly?
No,
It's like cowboys in space,
right?
like in a very simplified version. But that's what I like about it. It's like you take the cowboy element and you put them in space.
Have you ever seen the movie Cowboys and Aliens?
I haven't actually.
It's fucking terrible. It sounds just as bad as it sounds. Cowboys versus Aliens. And you know what? It's probably the shittiest movie with the greatest actors ever done.
Yeah,
And that's saying something because there's been a lot of them.
Gangster Squad.
Think about it. Harrison Ford and fucking Daniel Craig. Those are two bad motherfuckers. That's Han Solo, Indiana Jones, and fucking James Bond. Can't make a good fucking movie. Like,
I wasn't interested, so I didn't watch it.
yeah, I got it on DVD if you ever want to borrow it.
No, I'm good.
It was a gift. That's why I didn't sell it. It's fucking garbage. My sister's like, I love this movie. I was like, why? Why? Shout out to Sibling Honesty 2020. I'm going to get back to work
Are you
on
guys
that
still
too.
doing that?
I mean, I guess we haven't, like, we've stopped doing it, but it's not like we're just like, we're not doing it anymore.
Oh, I see. Well, you and I enjoy them. Like, I think they're fun. But you know what you need to get back to doing is your fucking haul videos.
I know, bro. And the thing is, folks, is I have so much cool shit to show y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to get off my ass and film it.
Yeah.
Like, it's getting to the point now where I'm starting to have trouble keeping up with all the shit I have to show. Like, anyways, I promise, folks, there will be a new episode out before Christmas. You can quote me on that right now.
I will quote you on that because it's
You
been
quote me
a
on that.
little over a month since you did your last one. So
It is. It has been a little over a month, and I'm stuck at 99 fucking subscribers. The people want me to come back. Let me get that 100 subscriber.
yeah,
Like that one more. That just like make me put me in the triple digits.
yeah. Go to PAR the THA collect.
That's fucking people up too, I'm sure.
Definitely
On
on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Check it out.
Subscribe, like.
And then I
Help
can
him
give
out.
away a bunch of shit. Like who
Yeah,
doesn't
he's-
like free shit?
He's doing giveaways.
Yeah, you should definitely check that out. But yeah, dude. All right, enough of the sidestepping. What are you grading the movie though?
A Bathory.
A bad 3?
A Bathory. It's a band.
Oh,
part of my
yeah,
rating.
That's right. Yeah. Which
I
one
get-
was that again?
It's probably like a 6.
Okay.
Like, it's not a terrible movie. It's just not for me.
That's how I always do it. Like if it's a movie that I don't hate the fact that I watched it, but I don't plan on watching it again, it's
Yeah.
a 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's things about it I didn't mind, but
Well, there's a few things I didn't like, so that's why it falls to a 6.
that's fine.
Bathory.
That's fine. I can live with that.
Yeah.
I took a swing on that one, bro. Like it's like I took a swing on Celtic Pride, because that's the thing about it, dude. Like me and you, when it comes to big time movies, like we have the same taste as far as like what we like, but
Like I said in our very first episode, we like Martin Scorsese and gangster movies.
and comedies, bro. We have certain comedies we
True.
both like and shit. And like when I was just looking at your fucking movie collection, dude, I have a bunch of that. I
Yeah.
have a bunch of that shit is on my shelf, and then about 10,000 more. But like
Yeah.
that's why we do this, bro. Because I want to put you onto a movie that you didn't know you liked it,
Yep.
and you're just like, holy fuck, bro, you got me. You've done it. You've successfully done that for me. You're on a hot streak right now. Like I said, 3 straight movies that you've showed me that I'm just like, fuck, that's not bad at all.
I'm curious how you're gonna feel about Old Boy. Like, even though it is a Korean movie, like, I don't know.
Well, you know, subtitles don't bother me, bro, because I watched Narcos. I've read, you know what I mean? Like I've read Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
Mm-hmm.
Drunken Master, shit like that. Bruce Lee movies. I don't mind reading subtitles.
I think you'll fuck with it. But after that, we're going back. I'm going back to my collection of shit that you're gonna hate. Well, sorry to bother you. Yeah, you're not gonna like it.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
I was actually looking forward to that one too.
Yeah?
Because I saw the preview for it, and I like that guy. He's in Atlanta. I forget his name, but he's awesome in Atlanta.
No, I think Sorry to Bother You is a great fucking movie. I think it has a lot of great messages,
hmm
but you're not gonna like it.
Damn. Okay. I guess we'll see what I
We'll
get.
see. If you like it, I'll be surprised.
So I'm doing Old Boy. What are you doing for mine?
I don't know. You
haven't
didn't
picked.
pick one for me. I could do the end of watch.
Yeah, do end to watch, man.
I've been
David
wanting to
Ayer.
watch that.
We just did Harsh Times not too long ago. Yeah, do another David Ayer movie, bro. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do a Suicide Squad debate one of these days.
Yeah?
Yeah, we just need to get Mick in here, or somebody that likes yelling about that shit like we do. Because you know what it is me and you like Jared Leto Joker. We need to find somebody that doesn't fucking like Jared Leto Joker,
Yeah, definitely.
because that's a big point in the movie why people either love it or hate it. And I fucking love it because of that.
I like it too. And I hate that people are just so fixated on this like one type of Joker. Like, let's mix it up. Let's change
Exactly.
things up.
You know, if anything, give the guy a fucking break. Like, at least he tried something different.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He could have done it the same fucking way.
Yeah.
That's what people kill me with the most. Like, would you have been happier if he went out and gave you a fucking spot on impression of Heath Ledger?
No, you'd have been even more
You'd be more
angry.
pissed. I can't believe he's disrespecting Heath Ledger like that.
Mhm.
Exactly. Or if he'd went out and did a Nicholson impression, or fucking even Season Romero from the fucking anime or from the Adam West show. You know what I mean? You want him to do Mark Hamill? Like, let the man do his own thing.
That's what I love about the Joker character is everyone has their own like take on it, because
Because that's how it is in the comics.
recently we watched the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, and I fucking loved it so much, and I love
I
his
watched
take on
us
it.
review that movie on the way over here to get me in mode to record.
Right?
And I still love that episode. If y'all haven't seen that episode, go check it out. It's on YouTube. It's on our YouTube channel right now.
Yeah, it's on everything along with the.
Oh yeah, and the
Anything
stream,
else?
yeah, podcast, yeah. Like, that movie was just fucking phenomenal. You know that shit don't come out on fucking DVD till February. What the fuck, dude?
So long ago.
I can't buy that
Or-
for Christmas.
So long from now. Well, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood just came out, and I was gonna buy it, but I don't want to pay $25 for a movie.
No, wait up, bro. We'll get it cheaper later. Yeah, I'm done. The
Like, I
days
hate-
of me paying, I mean, maybe for like a blockbuster action, I may pay the money to get it on Blu-ray like that. But
I hate being such a cheap ass, but at the same time, like, I don't have all the money in the world to buy every movie that comes out, so I have to be like
you have to be
a
selective
little stingy.
with the shit you really
So
want.
instead, I bought Apocalypse Now on Steelbook Special Edition.
That's another movie where it's very divisive.
You want-
know? People
you-
either love it or hate it.
Oh,
Apocalypse Now.
you want to know a secret?
What?
I haven't actually watched it.
You never seen Apocalypse Now?
No, it has been on my to-do watch list for like 20 years.
It's a fucked up movie.
I've heard, and it's on my scratch-off list that my wife bought for me, so
Once again, Robert Duvall kills it.
I'm looking forward to watching it. That's why I bought it, so I could watch it.
What's his name too? Charlie Sheen's daddy, Martin Sheen. He does a good job in it too.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it because I've been meaning to watch it for so long. I just haven't.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, it's a long one. I think it's like 2.5,
hmm
close to 3 hours. It's a good watch though.
So I was getting ready for bed. I was like getting tired or whatever. We watched rewatched The Gift. My wife's like, "Oh, we can watch The Irishman." I'm like,
No, you
"It's
can't.
3.5 hours long.
I loved it though, bro.
I need to watch it."
You do need to watch it so we can talk about it. We need
Yeah.
to do an Irishman episode.
We do.
I loved it. I've
It's
watched
just-
it twice already.
I don't want to do it in segments. I want to watch the whole thing in one go.
That's the way I watched it the first time. The second time I watched it in pieces. Like if I had an hour, watched it, because that's how. I mean, people bitch about it being that long, but I could think like it's almost designed to not watch it all at once.
That's what that's what my wife showed me is like there's things online to show how to watch it in pieces. It's like timestamps.
Mhm.
So
And they do a really it's Scorsese, so you know he's fucking about his business, but like they do a really good job of going at it through like you feel like you're going through history right there with them. You know what I mean? Like
I need to watch it before I die because
it's amazing. You got to watch it.
it's on my bucket list.
I loved it.
I mean, it's Martin Scorsese. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think he's done a
I
bad
mean, it's
movie
not
in
like
his
just
career.
because it's him. I liked it. Like, I haven't seen Silence. I had you put that on the list for me just because I haven't seen it. It didn't look like a normal type of Scorsese movie for me.
Nah, it's his 10-year project.
And then, because you know me, bro, like, it's not guaranteed just because it's Scorsese. Like, I don't like Shutter Island. You, my wife, other people try to tell me, like, oh, it's a great movie.
I didn't like it the first time I watched it, but after rewatching it, I appreciate it a lot more.
That's the thing about it, dude. I didn't enjoy it so much the first time, so I didn't even want to give it a second watch. I own the movie and I've never watched it.
Yeah. I've told you before, you need to give it another shot and don't think about the twist so much because the twist at
Ruins
the
it.
end doesn't matter. It's everything else that is just masterclass storytelling.
Yeah, I might have to. It's DiCaprio. I'll give him one more watch for
Mhm.
DiCaprio, man. It's my dog. Great actor.
Well, next time we're gonna talk about Old Boy,
Old boy.
the original.
You my boy, Blue.
We'll see you then.
Later.